How's it going, guys? All right, so I didn't actually want to do this, because I don't like coming on here and being negative all the time. But the fact of the matter is, Game of Thrones season 8 and those last couple of seasons have like left such a bad taste in my mouth that pretty much any content from this point on coming from HBO relating to A Song of Ice and Fire, I'm weary about. So there's been just a little bit of information that's come out about the new prequel show that's coming out that Jane Goldman is working on about the Long Night. And the information, a little bit that's leaked, I guess, makes me a little scared. Even though it's a small bit of information, but it makes me wonder and it makes me a little bit scared. And I think it's really stupid. So the title has come out. It's called Blood Moon, and I don't know. I guess what makes me not like it is the fact that Blood Moon has nothing to do with anything in the A Song of Ice and Fire lore. I don't know if I've ever. I could be wrong, but I don't know if I've ever heard like a Blood Moon being referenced, especially not related to the others or anything like that. I mean, there's other moon symbolism in the series, I guess, but nothing like this. Blood Moon just seems terribly generic. So, like, for a while we had the working title of The Long Night, and that's the one that George R. R. Martin actually liked, but apparently they thought that Blood Moon, which isn't related to anything, sounded better. So we already knew that this spinoff was going to be like loosely kind of, they were going to pick up things from the lore, but really it was just going to be 95% of them like just making stuff up and writing it themselves that has nothing to do with what George R. R. Martin wrote. And before season 8 and season 7, maybe I had a little bit more confidence, but now my confidence has greatly waned, even though these are totally different people. I mean, I think Cogman is coming back on to work on this, but David and Dan are off of this totally. But at the same time, I'm still pretty anxious because it's coming out of HBO, and I know HBO has said things, and David and Dan have kind of said some things, and it's a little bit of shifting of the blame going on. But the bottom line is, it came from HBO, it came from that production company, and we don't really know what the 100% truth is. So I'm skeptical with anything A Song of Ice and Fire that comes out of HBO. Period. All right. So Watchers on the Wall were the first to break this leak, I guess, and they found, I guess, a picture of the title of the script or something. So we can just look at this article right now. When we first heard the title of Blood Moon for the Long Night set Game of Thrones prequel, it was unknown whether it was just a production code name or the actual title for the show. So yeah, we've heard the name Blood Moon before, but this is the first time it's been confirmed. George R. R. Martin has made it clear that he's partial to the straightforward Long Night, the Long Night. Well, obviously, because it's straightforward and it makes sense. The Long Night, that's what it is. Why the heck is it called Blood Moon? But he later admitted it isn't official. So what's the deal? Though HBO has not yet confirmed or denied either title, we can now offer you an exclusive look at the logo design the show's production is using, which may put the title dispute to rest. Before we take a look, we must note that the logo is taken from a production sheet. It's a simple version not intended for public viewing, as it should go without saying, whenever we get the title and logo officially from HBO Marketing, it should look more impressive. Well, it better look more impressive than this, because this looks like a cheap, just kind of like rip of the Game of Thrones logo, just like very quickly, cheaply done. But yeah, it seems pretty official that it's Blood Moon. I don't really like that title. I'm kind of hoping that they change it. I don't want to be super down on it, but god dang it. Honestly, another thing that kind of makes me super kind of angry about this series is that the whole point of this series is to answer the questions that Game of Thrones didn't answer about the White Walkers, I guess, which is just such a cop-out because you did all this 8 seasons of this crap building up the White Walkers, and then it's like, oh, you got to watch 5 more seasons of this, so however many seasons they're going to try and push out of this. And it just feels like really cheap, and I just feel like I've been used, and I feel like we're being used as fans. Our fandom is just like being stretched. Like we can string them along for a whole nother ride, a whole nother big production thing. I mean, if I'm gonna watch this first season of Blood Moon or whatever, but if it's the same shallow, uninspired drivel that we saw out of Game of Thrones for the last few seasons, then I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can put myself through that. And we know that George R. R. Martin is working on this, but honestly, we don't know how closely. And already, it's kind of clear that they don't really care that much what he says, because they've already turned the title to Blood Moon when he clearly liked the title Long Night better. So how much influence does he really even have over this entire production? All right, that's enough of me being a negative Nancy. We'll see what happens when the Blood Moon show comes out. I'm not going to immediately just bash on it and hate on it, even though that's pretty much what I've just spent the last 5 minutes doing. Peace out, guys. That's all I got right now. Like and subscribe for more ideas of Ice and Fire.